Welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, a platform where we have invited Spirit to share messages, healings, and transmissions with all of us. May this energetic experience help us to expand our awareness and to deepen the relationship we have with our higher self, our spiritual team, and with Source, however we define them. Thank you for being here and for taking part in this amazing journey. Hello and welcome again back to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, Episode 1 with Tamara Cacio and Kristen Numen. It is an honor to have you both with us. I am going to ask you guys to unmute. Sorry about that. I'm going to pin you and I'm going to pin me. Beautiful. And so I will let them introduce themselves to you guys. This is the episode 1 of the season. As always, we are responding to what's coming up. No idea what's coming through. As a reminder, if you want to participate in the conversation, I will ask you if it's okay for me to turn on your video. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to stay on audio only. And if you have any questions and would rather remain anonymous, just send a chat message to me personally or to the group and just mention it as anonymous, and I will not read your name out as I ask the question in the recording. If there's anything that comes up, feel free to, again, reach out to me. I'm happy to kind of work through anything with you while I can in the chat. Thank you guys again for being here, Tamara and Kristen. I will let you guys introduce yourselves and then we will go from there.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. This is a beautiful opportunity. I'm thankful to be here to share Spirit's message with everybody. And my name is Tamara Cacio. Like Daniel said, I am a Kundalini Reiki master and intuitive healer. I'm also a published author of a best-selling book, Aligned Leaders, and a spiritual counselor, teaches yoga, meditation, all things of spirit. And Kristen and I are friends. She's one of my mentors as well and teachers. And we have come together to do this really amazing practice that she'll tell you a little bit more about. Our gifts work together really uniquely. And I think you're really going to enjoy what we bring to you today.
I'm excited. I'm Kristen Numen. I'm a multifaceted channel, Kundalini Reiki master teacher. I am a medium. I channel guides of the highest. You name it, I jump down that rabbit hole because I love it. What Tamara and I do is really quite amazing. I cherish our bond so much. Something that Spirit taught us is that we are Gemini, so we are our souls, our twins. So even when we're with our families and doing things and not actually connecting, and we connect afterwards and discuss, we'll have similar experiences, we'll channel things for one another, knowing we're always connected and always have that bond. Something that most people understand is conscious channeling. So where someone is bringing in guides of the highest good, or like mediumship, and you're a conscious channel. I'm aware of all of my human faculties and I'm speaking to you as I am now. But trans channeling is when the beings actually come into you. You can do trans mediumship, you can do the trans channeling with the guides of the highest. Something that the guides had taught me, and this is new, is trans-conscious. I am in and out. Tamara is very much assisting in the energy. We play off of one another. We are all telepathic. So Sasha is the being of light. They are masculine and feminine energies that we channel from the 7th ray galactic beings. And Sasha will answer Tamara her telepathic questions and things like that. So I might say something that may not make sense to you, and we'll find out afterwards what Tamara was thinking at that time, how I answered that. Light language might come through because this is, as Daniel says, a platform for spirit to come through. I might get emotional because the feeling when they come in is absolute unconditional love, which can be overwhelming in an absolutely beautiful way. So laughing, crying, things like that as well. And to let you know as well, I have severe heart issues. So Tamara is also this beautiful bridge, which is the name of her business, Bridge Between Worlds. She's this beautiful bridge, and we are cocoon. So regardless of your circumstances in life, even though I'm sick, I am totally cocooned and protected by spirit when I do this work. And Tamara will feel some of the pains that I have, and she is able to hold space and transmute it and transform it, give it to Gaia, Mother Earth, give it to God's source, however she feels, she disperses it. And we'll roll with it because we never know what's going to come through.
Never. Yeah. So something interesting about what she was mentioning with Gemini. So this is different than your twin flame, is what we've been shown. We can go back through our lives even before we became friends, and they have lined up. The experiences have been similar and have lined up as well. And like Kristen said, I will get a thought. I may ask spirit for the question without even sharing it with Kristen, and all of a sudden she calls and says, I have something to share with you. And that's how we were taught and shown that we have this Gemini connection going on, where anything that I receive as a question or an inquiry, Sasha as a collective, who are my guides, come through Kristen and me as well, but they're working with us to do this bridge channeling that we've been doing. When we first started, we weren't really sure what we were doing, and it's been a work in progress. If anybody else has ever started trans channeling or wanting to develop it more, you just kind of like, okay, I'm ready, and then nothing, right? You're like, okay, how do you do this? So we were shown several steps. So if you're interested in doing it, I think these steps are really important. Kristen and I talked ahead of time that first and foremost is being protected. Always saying your prayer of protection and knowing your human faculties, knowing who you are, knowing your guides. Because once you start channeling, you always want to channel from the highest and greatest realms, right? The highest and greatest good for all. So knowing where your baseline is really important, because you don't want to invite in a lower entity or whatnot to take over your body or your thoughts or your emotions. So protection is key. What they did for us was, we took Kristen through past lives without knowing. Kristen's face was morphing rapidly, almost like a screen was going on, and I could see all these different faces coming through on her. And I was like, whoa, you are becoming all these different people, like instantaneously. What is happening? And we were taking her through past lives without us even realizing it, to heal and to purify those lives so we could have this clear connection with source, with spirit. And after we did the past lives, we then were shown how to connect our chakras, right? So before we go into our trance channel, we connect 3 of our main chakra centers, and they become one. And that is how I'm able to feel her heart. Her heart actually resides in my right side of my body, and I can feel every palpitation, every twinge, everything. And then the telepathic comes through our third eyes. I will be given a message or a question. Sometimes it's even from the audience, right? Somebody might be thinking something and not wanting to ask, and it will be implanted. It will just come to me. Kristen will then channel the message. And then our roots are connected as well, our solar plexus as well, to keep our energy high and vibrant. So those were really the 3 things I think that we really were shown. Past life transgressions is important to clear those energetic karmic connections. And then clearing out your own chakra system, connecting with your own so you know where you're at, and purifying yourself. And meditation for sure. Yeah, bringing in that sense of protection. And yeah.
Yes, and to know as well, it's a very shamanic thing. So Tamara might burp because it is releasing, because Sasha is working on her energy, on mine, on yours. Now that you're here, this is the first we're doing this live in front of anyone. So I'm really interested in how you all feel. I'm being told right now that light language might come through. I tend to close my eyes, all that kind of stuff. I move around because I'll get very hot. Like I said, I'm trans-conscious channeling, so I am here and gone. A funny story is, I think it was yesterday, I had gotten from Sasha, they were talking about Tamara, and they call her Tamara. And I said, oh, they call you Tamara. What a beautiful way to say your name. And I'm like, a few hours later, I said, wait, what do you call me? Ben. And I'm a girly girl. For those that know me, I'm a girly girl, and you call me Ben is like a joke. Am I making this up? All that kind of stuff. And then as I was watching TV with my husband, because I was just very receptive at the time, they come in and they say, you're one of my alternate in a different dimension at the same moment in time. I am also a man named Ben, who is a stockbroker, who had a near-death experience, turned channel. That's what I was told. I can see him. Tamara can see him as well. We were discussing, you know, what he actually looks like. So I was like, I'm actually a nice looking dude. So the things to think about with all of this, because you think you're making it up, right? So I just wanted to share that. Yeah.
Can I jump in really quick?
Sure.
So given that we haven't really gone through like a longer opening conversation, there's a couple things that I just want to highlight for those of you that are joining us that might be new to the whole channeling space. One of the things that I talked a lot about last season is that everybody channels. Every single person, every single being on this planet is channeling regularly. It's a natural part of our makeup. We just don't label it as such. And so if you think of the channeling as a continuum, our insights, inspiration, creativity, gut feelings, even messages that appear in our thoughts, these are all channeled messages or can be described as channeled messages. The other extreme of the channeling is what Kristen was talking about, which we refer to as trance channeling, where we allow ourselves to invite another energy to become part of our energetic field and to utilize our physical body as a tool. Many of you might not be interested in getting to that level of channeling. Some of you will. I would invite you to do so. It's an incredible experience. I'm learning to do that myself, and I'll talk much more about that in my session midway through the program. But I just want to bring this up, that channeling is a continuum, and even people that don't label it as channeling are channeling. People that talk about connecting to their inner wisdom, to their inner guidance, to their higher self, these are all descriptions of channeling. They're just not labeling it as such. And so keep in mind that there is a continuum within this language, even though there are people gifted with, and gifted isn't really the right word, because we all have our own unique way of channeling, and we are all gifted. So Kristen isn't unique in the sense that she can do this and no one else can. What's unique about Kristen is that she does it the way she does it. No one else channels and connects with spirit the way that she does. And so that's her gift. That doesn't mean that she's gifted and I'm not, or that you're not. We all have our own unique abilities and our own unique gifts, which is a combination of our spiritual self and our human self that are working synergistically to create our current experience that we are living through at this moment. And this relationship between our body and our spirit is what creates these gifts that we are able to create in this lifetime, some of which we bring from our spiritual past. Call it past. Again, that's a longer conversation. From our spiritual journey, and some of those gifts are inherent to the body that we have selected to partner with in this lifetime. And so again, just a little bit of a background that I wanted to interject for those of you that are joining us on session 1 and have no idea what channeling is. Welcome. I will talk more about all of this throughout and in my session as well. And having said that, thank you guys for giving me that space to share that. Very excited to let you guys continue. I'm going to mute myself again, and I will leave it back in your hands.
Okay, yeah, it's very important because channeling is so different from everyone, and the way that Spirit talks about it is we each have a fingerprint for a reason. We all have these same spiritual gifts. There's the hearing, seeing, feeling, knowing, taste, and smell. But then when we open them up, they turn into your own superpowers, or maybe you just want to use your intuition, which is also channeling spirit, leading your best life, that type of thing as well. With that being said, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm also being reminded to share with you when Sasha started coming through. Sasha's been a collective guides of mine for a while. Before I even knew what channeling was, before I even was conscious about this, that is where my intuition was coming from a lot of times, right? In these hits that I was getting. However, without the proper grounding and without the proper protections, it literally would make me feel schizophrenic a lot of times. And it was in our first session when Sasha channeled, or Kristen channeled through Sasha, she stopped and she's like, I'm feeling very schizophrenic all of a sudden. It's because it's a collective and they're literally talking all at once. And we had to teach them how to communicate through us, just as they're teaching us how to receive their energy. Because it's an energetic exchange, we are also teaching them how to be humans and how the human works. And now it's a very straight lined energetic flow, right? Where it's much easier. So when you if you start to feel ungrounded, or you start to feel like, wow, there's so many messages coming in so fast, it's just really important to just slow down, ground yourself, go into a meditation, and communicate that. Say, I need you to just speak one at a time. I need to be a little bit clearer. I'm not understanding. You are the driver in the seat always. So they wanted me to remind everybody that you are in charge. And although that Kristen's giving them her body and her voice, she is still very much in charge and has taught them as well on how to honor. They knock on a door, there's certain protocols that are in place to make sure that she stays safe and grounded.
Yes, mainly the reason is that feeling when you're starting to fall asleep, or those that meditate and you feel like you fall and you kind of jump yourself awake. That's the feeling. And sometimes Kristen will get very excited and I kind of come forward and jump myself awake and I'm back in. That's why it's trans-conscious. I go back and forth. I keep my eyes closed so I can keep because I see images in my mind's eye that Sasha will bring forward, and it helps me get back into that space again. So it might take a hot minute as I connect after I kind of mumble to myself. I am holding a stone, so you might see me move around holding my ice pack. I hold a stone. This is Jasper. It just helps me ground. It's something that wanted to work with me, that Sasha was saying, hold your Jasper. They get very specific. It's like Tamara was saying, they're very specific and you can feel schizophrenic because they're very chitter chatter and they're very direct.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So, and like she said, you might hear me burp, I will definitely be doing hand signs as well. And it's all to maintain this energetic frequency. The energy really builds to a high level, and you might even see me sweat. It gets hot. So weird sounds very well may come through as Kristen's receiving. So there's just a lot of different elements that come into play. So,
and we never know. So maybe there's something new.
Right.
Why not do it live in front of everybody, right? That's comfortable.
Before you guys jump in, let me, there's something that I want to emphasize as well. And again, I apologize, but a lot of this is stuff that I would have covered had I started the program. But I want to reiterate what Tamara talked about in a slightly different way. Many of us are experiencing, like I said, we experience our connection with spirit and we don't know what that is. And so it can create a lot of discord within our own experience. You are, like they're saying, you are the one that's in control. You're the one that sets your boundaries. You're the one that sets your intention for how it is that you want to connect with your team. And so if you happen to be receiving information and you don't know how to manage it, ask them. It's really as simple as that, is, you know, say, hey, you know, I'm getting overloaded, or I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I'm feeling confused. I appreciate the intention that my higher self and my team has with helping me in this path. And I need you guys to either speak in a single voice, like Kristen and Tamara are saying. I have a collective that speaks through me, and they know that they speak in a single voice. And that's something that, even if it's 100,000 energetic individuals, they can combine into a single voice. And so there's no limit to that. Please understand that there are no limitations to our experience of life. And so whatever you want to set as your framework for how it is that you want to work with your own team, just set it, live with it, and then you can always adjust it. So create something that's comfortable for you, and then as you expand your own awareness and your own understanding, then that will shift and adjust with you. I no longer say my intentions out loud. Sometimes I'll just go straight into channeling. I don't need to say my intention, because my intention is already a part of who I am and a part of how I work. And I don't need to verbalize it, quote unquote, every time that I work. And that's just an example of how it is that I've adjusted as I've gotten more comfortable with the work that I do. And so, again, this is just an invitation for you guys, for those of you that are hearing things or connecting with things within your own experience, feel comfortable in the fact that you are safe. They are there to help you, and they're there to support you, and you can help them and direct them in a way that's appropriate for you to continue and to deepen that relationship. Thank you, guys.
Beautifully said. That's great. Yep, absolutely. So we're going to start with a prayer protection. I know we've already made a sacred space. This is a part of our process that we go through to get ourselves connected and ready to go. So we'll do our prayer protection. Kristen does an invocation. And again, it's that allowing, giving Sasha permission, right? So we're going to go through that. And if anybody has questions, I encourage you to send them either in the chat or whatnot, but also telepathically, and just to see if they come out, because it is fun to play like that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. God, it is commanded that all waywards, watchers, walk-ins, low vibrating entities, thought forms, irritations, aggravations, anything that does not serve Tamara and Kristen's and this collective's highest and greatest good, be pulled, cleared, deleted, and sent on its divine path towards unconditional love. I ask that Kristen and Tamara be surrounded now in your spiritual hedge of protection filled with love and truth, only allowing your love and truth to exist, keeping Kristen safe as she channels the pure energy and the pure messages from the highest realms, giving Tamara the grounding and stability to hold space and to invite in Sasha now.
Lord, the pillars of light to surround us. Only the light of the highest good may come forward. The protection, the connection, in love, in growth, in peace. Tamara. Yes, green. Heart chakra. Higher heart expanding more. We welcome you to the Lion's Gateway portal of today, the alignment within the star systems of Sirius, of Orion. Many of you may be feeling these energies: depression, anxiety, ungrounded, exhaustion, ascension symptoms. We ask you to be in your body. We ask you to play. We ask you to do your hobbies, things that make you laugh and bring you joy. Being in nature, this stabilizes the being, the energetic bodies that are you. The veil is thin at this time. Please understand, dreams might come up that you may understand, you may not understand. These are past lives that are coming up that wish to be released and healed. Some can be frightening. Your body mind does not need to know at times. Other times your body mind needs to know, because it might be something you're experiencing in this point in time, a fear that you might have. A fear that you might have that is not making sense in this lifetime, because it was other lifetimes that you carried this, and it is wanting to be released now. A time of karmic clearing is happening now, at this time, last month, this month. Sailboat. The trees are speaking. Just own what it is that you are, and I'll give it love and allow it to be released. This is why you are here. To release, to learn, to live in love and joy, connections, self-growth, self-love. Through self-love is connection with spirit. Through self-love, we grow.
Sasha, let me interrupt. There was a blip in the connection. Could you start over from when you said that the trees were coming through?
Trees. The connection of the trees.
All is fine. What was heard is heard.
At peace with anxieties. These emotions are to assist you in growth. Emotions are tools to inform. What are you feeling? What does it mean? What is coming up? Give it love and give it to us. Allow it to go. Allow it to release. Connections are important. Connections with like-minded souls are important. You're holding space for one another. You're allowing your energies to transform. The back chakras. Karmic release. Camera, third eye. Connection. Connection of the root, connection of the solar plexus, connection of the heart chakras, connection of the third eye. More are seeing movement in the corner of their eyes. More are seeing orbs, thinking there's something wrong with your eyes, sensitivity to light, watery eyes, gritty eyes. Please understand that the third eye is more than sight, more than just seeing what is beyond. It is the ability to see in this reality, to be able to see someone for the beautiful soul that they are, regardless of what they show you in this reality. That everybody has a path, whether they choose to accept it or not. Understand that the pineal gland is the antenna. It amplifies all of your chakras.
Sasha, what is the purple representing? What is happening with the purple? The purple entity. What is happening, Sasha?
Schumann resonance. The vibrations are changing, the frequencies are changing. This is a high frequency. Colors, light, you might hear higher pitched sounds. Some think this is tinnitus. These are frequencies shifting within your being. The frequencies shifting upon the earth, upon all galaxies, all space and time, all dimensions, right now, in this moment. This is why anxieties are coming forward as well. Anxieties and depression. A feeling of unrest because you feel the energies. It feels different. This is important for grounding, to allow you to acclimate like a plant. Shaman, running bull. Running bull, your purpose. Stepping forward more. Back chakras release, sacral.
You all must own your gifts as they come to you. They are gifts. They were given to you. All are activated. All are not chosen. You choose what will serve you. It is time. It is time to step into the space. There's a lot of pull coming from the solar plexus right now. There's a lot of pull. This is pulling from the audience. There's questions. There is uncertainties happening. You are being asked to step into your own self, to embrace this power within you. Sasha, are you available for others to channel, and how?
Action. Meditation is important. Clarifying the self, the energies, knowing the self, being fearless and looking at your deep sides, your shadow sides. All beings of light are readily available to channel at all times.
Your purpose is to serve.
Connection. Raising the vibration as a collective. The more that we allow our lights to turn on as a collective, universal consciousness, that's where change takes place. Change takes place through the energies. Light language. These are to help clear your lower chakras, to clear the nadis and the chakra points and the hands and the feet, to feel the energy, to connect more with the earth, to listen to the trees. Please understand that with these activations, they are unique to each soul and individual who is present. Listening to this recording at any point in time, whatever is in your highest good of love and light. Understand that nature may react to you differently. The dragonfly that flies by you, you can swear that it looked right at you and can see your soul. More of an understanding, more of a deeper connection with your own animals, with others as well. More of an understanding. Drinking water, grounding, nurturing, nourishing foods, breath. Bring yourself to the breath. Allow yourself to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth with the intention of breathing in the love and light, breathing out the release of any heaviness that no longer serves you. Understand that these activations take place over the next 48 hours in perfect comfort and alignment to all of those present, all of those listening at any point in time. Understand that many of you speak light language, spontaneous singing, even during this session. Allow to come out whatever comes out. This is how it begins. Light language is healing. It is your own fingerprint, using it as your soul chooses to in this lifetime. You are limitless, and it's time to step into your power, knowing that you are more amazing than you can ever imagine. Energy coming through the crown, the back of the head, base of the skull, zeal chakra, zeal. Angelic light codes coming through the shoulder blades and the heart space in the front and the back. Breathe. Release in the lower back, mid back, back of the solar plexus, back of the sacral, and the root. Igniting your fire, your flame that is your solar plexus. Stepping into your truth. You might have a 9-to-5 job. It does not mean you can't pursue what you wish. A hobby. Let that light shine. What lights you up? Understand that the brain is in the heart space. That is the true mind. The ego resides in the brain, the logic. We love the ego. That is what makes you human. Integrate with the heart space, allowing the heart mind to speak louder. This is a practice. You're right where you're meant to be. Tamara's shoulders.
Asking Kristen to come back. Thank you, Sasha. So as the energy builds, it becomes really intense to stay into the trance and into the zone, and I can feel unsteadiness happening. So I needed to cut the connection. Kristen's grabbing her ice pack now. Her heart is, I don't know what your heart, mine's not good. I'm feeling like, yeah, I feel really woozy as well. So That's what happens, and that's why the consciousness is important, is to be able to stay aware when it's over, it's over. We can probably go back in if anybody has questions. We can channel Sasha directly for questions, but
Consciously, yeah.
yeah,
Consciously
but
channel,
yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting because when I was coming out, my throat feels funny. And the guy just reminded me, when I have severe palpitations, my throat will feel weird. It's almost like you can feel your heartbeat in your throat. And I didn't even realize that was happening because I'm so out of body. I felt like I was here and I was observing. I was in and out constantly, but I feel like my body, I need to ground. I need to ground.
Yeah. He had said Tamara's shoulders, and that's how I knew it was time for Kristen to come back, because they were shaking my shoulders like, enough, it's enough. So yeah, building that relationship and that trust is important for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because I know that Tamara has my back as I have hers, and I wasn't even worried about being looked at or judged or anything like that. It was whatever came through. I noticed that when I stutter, I'm in. Mm-hmm. So I'm like aware of just different tics and different habits, but remember, my eyes will start to twitch when she's coming in. So you might get like twitching, heat. Yeah, it's ascension symptoms, but you can get it at the moment you start channeling. And when they're really high beings, I will get, if it's a new energy, up the back of my neck. I can't fully turn my head because it's such intense energy going through the meridian, which is the main chakras in your body, you know, that you hear, the solar plexus, the heart, the third eye, all of that. So just so you're aware what these feelings are, hopefully this is the light bulb moment of, oh, I've been feeling that when I've been trying to do this, but you back away from it and stop the connection because there's a fear there. So it's getting that connection and letting your guides know. We have to ask, we have to set those ground rules in pure love and light. You can ask them to step away so you don't feel these intense energies. And that's my thing. I was so used to having them step away. So I didn't feel the energy as intensely because of my heart problem, that I needed to learn to trust Tamara to hold the space and to transmute the energies, to trust these beings of light to encapsulate me in this just cradle of love, that I'm connected and safe. I had to learn to let go, and that's hard because you don't want to let go. Does my voice sound weird?
Yeah, you're not fully back yet. Yeah. Yeah. They're asking me also to share about the foot chakras, your earth star chakras at the soles of your feet, and these help ground you into Mother Earth, into Gaia, and keeping them clean on an energetic level. Keeping that connection is crucial. The deeper you're able to root down, the higher you're able to ascend, right? It's just like a tree can only grow as tall as its roots go down. So bringing your attention to your earth star chakras, in addition to the 7 main ones that we connect with and talk about regularly, these, and I think you touched base when we were channeling too. I can't remember everything that happens when we're out, but the feet and the hands are so important on keeping them energetically clean, and physically as well, obviously, but on an energetic level, bringing attention to them and cleansing to maintain that connection. I think actually even Daniel started off with rooting down into Mother Earth and then connecting us also to Father Sky and exchanging those energies within us. Those come up through the feet, right? So we need to maintain the energetic cleanliness of that as well.
Yes, I can feel Sasha is saying a couple of things. Understand that the big, huge trees that are outside, these are the ancient trees. These are the ancient ones. They have such wisdom and connection. Their roots are thick and deep, and they go straight into the earth. Feel your roots as you grow your tree, so to speak. They might feel like little tendrils going through, or they're huge roots that go straight through. Allow yourself to connect. You might feel heavy or pulled. You might feel like you've gained 10 pounds because you're really grounding and rooting. So you can really let yourself go and connect to the higher realms. They said something else. Can you bring it back, please? Yes. Okay. I don't know who's feeling something in the jaw. If someone has tension in the jaw right now, I feel tension in the jaw that's going to be released. Lockjaw, something like that. There's also a connection for you with your ears. So your clairaudience, your hearing, you might be hearing, it could be a different voice in your head. It could be your own voice in your head. It could just be words that plop in there, because the claircognizance, which is knowing, and the clairaudience, which is hearing, these gifts come through together. It's not always pure just seeing and all of that. It comes through uniquely together. So for whoever who's feeling that in their jaw, a lot is opening up for you. And please understand, it might feel like you took 10 steps backwards if you're moving forward and wanting to channel and do all this work in channeling. But understand that all it takes is good grounding and just taking a break and be in your body and do all of those practices, you know, hobbies, laugh, joy, being in nature, nourishing the body. And then you can take like 1,000 leaps forward. You'll be surprised, because we did that in this work.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we were doing, and we're like, what are we even doing? Then all of a sudden it just clicked and we started doing stuff, and we were like, oh my gosh, all of these things that didn't make sense. All of a sudden.
Yeah. Just it opens up.
Yeah.
And trust.
You guys okay if I jump in?
Yes, please.
So there's a couple comments and questions that I want to
Great.
to honor, but there's something else that I want to add as well, which is in line with what you guys are talking about. Our individual connection with energy is very unique and very different. I know people that channel that after they're done channeling, they're wiped out for hours. And then I also know people that have an hour-long session of channeling and come out more energized than before. And there isn't a right way and a wrong way. There isn't a I'm broken because I can't maintain this, or I'm X because of Y. There is no right way or wrong way. We're all very unique in the way that we connect with our energies. We can all learn to expand our experience of how we connect and the way that we protect ourselves and manage our energy. There's always room for us to get better and to be more fluid with the flow of our connection. But I want to emphasize the fact that, there is no right way and wrong way. What's really important is that you honor your body, honor and respect the sensations that you are feeling, connect with your body. Your body will tell you when it is tired, when it needs rest, when it needs to take a break, because ultimately we are working through our physical body. And so that honoring that relationship with our body is really, really important. So thank you for allowing me to share that. A couple things that I want to add. So Arden shared with everybody that they felt a strong, loving energy as you began, and message pertained directly to them. Could feel this and so wanted you to know that it works via Zoom also. And isn't that amazing that we're all connecting remotely, but yet the distance doesn't mean anything. Distance is only a perceptual illusion. And so thank you for sharing that, Arden. Kelly asked, Kristen mentioned jerking awake when going into channel. I am experiencing that at night. Often it is keeping me from sleeping. Is there any guidance on this that Sasha or you guys are able to share to help Kelly?
Yeah, I think the trust, that jerk awake is like what Kristen mentioned. It's that fear of going. You're like on a cliff and you don't want to go forward. So you're jerking yourself back out of the safety net. So trusting, allowing yourself to fall, allowing yourself to free fall into this place, this space. I would say setting your intentions as you're falling asleep to give permission, telling yourself it's okay. I don't need to jerk awake. I can trust wherever this is that I'm leading. But they are saying that there's a channel message to Kristen for this.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get so excited. Okay, what they're talking about is inviting in your guides as the highest good. You can feel them. You may not know that they're there. They are there. I 100% promise you. But calling upon your guides as the highest good to come forward to assist you, to help the energies. There's also family members that are on the other side that have passed that you feel are your guardian angels. I see 2 of them. I feel 2 of them coming forward. So asking them to surround you, calling upon Archangel Michael. He is my go-to all the time, Archangel Michael, for protection. But speaking to your guides and your loved ones on the other side to have them assist you and see how it improves each and every night. It's your yourself allowing to let go and allow these beings of light to come forward and assist you as well. And like Tamara said, giving yourself the permission, because it's new and exciting. So knowing, okay, I'm waking myself up, but this is new and exciting that I'm feeling, and allowing yourself to go deeper each night. So before you go to bed, saying some words of gratitude, either writing it down and then calling upon your guides, it raises the vibration, your vibration, and then calling forward and asking permission and assistance from your team and loved ones on the other side. I hope that helps.
And what I'm kind of getting as well, if I may add, is feeling that trust within yourself, Kelly, that everything is okay and that you're protected and guided by your higher self and your team always will be very helpful. And you can also do baby steps where you can say, I don't want to remember, but take me there. I don't want to be conscious of it, but take me there. Let my body begin to, let my awareness begin to get comfortable with this new energy, with this new direction. And then little by little, like Kristen was saying, baby steps, allow yourself to become more and more conscious, allow yourself to remember more and more. And so that's something that I wanted to add as well. So hopefully this has all been helpful for you, Kelly. Christine talks about having a heaviness with vibrating energy in her chest. When you guys started, it was intense but not concerning. She talks about her daughter speaking with trees. She enjoyed hearing your words about the trees, especially pertaining to nature. Jillian is asking, what about sickness? They're suffering from sinus infection, ear, throat pain. Is there anything that her team or Sasha is able to share to help Jillian with this?
There are lessons in every illness, disease, setback, stumbling block. There are lessons within each and every one of them. You're encouraged to go within and ask that same question to your team, and then be mindful and aware of what presents itself afterwards. This might be a message that you hear, you turn your radio and it tells you something. This might be somebody walking into your realm and says, oh, I just heard this. Be aware of the messages they are sending you. There are lessons interlaced in all of the illnesses and all of the sicknesses. And we actually discussed that before going on. This is me talking. We discussed how a lot of times if you're not being mindful of your own energetic limitations or boundaries, maybe not limitations, but boundaries, these physical ailments will come in to stop you, to slow you down, so you can connect deeper with your team, so you can become more one with yourself.
Yes, and it's funny because I like closing my eyes because I'll get more of a clearer image. Definitely a lot of angelic connection for you. And the angels come forward and say, this is also a time of rest. You know, we tend to question, I'm sick, why am I sick? I have this, that, and 9 million other things I got to do like by yesterday. And this is where your guides are saying, be self-nurture, self-care, rest. It might seem counterproductive, but after this passes through, wow, you're going to be like the Energizer Bunny is what they're talking about. So honoring your body and allowing your being to rest.
I'm hearing ceremonial ritual right now with foods, tea, maybe a hot ginger tea. Create it as a sacred moment. You know, this is a time, like Kristen said, of nurturing and self-love. Make it specific, make it intentional. Utilize this illness or this discomfort as an excuse to really nurture yourself and create that bond with spirit in the moment. And I keep hearing ginger, so I would recommend ginger tea or even fresh ginger with some hot water and a little honey to soothe yourself, setting the intention of, I am communing now with my team and I'm communing with my highest and greatest good. Yeah.
I see lavender as well, but I'm smiling because what the images I'm getting in my head, Tamara's saying, it's the coolest thing. I highly, if you have someone that you just have a connection with, just sitting and channeling together, I mean, it's just the coolest thing.
It is so cool. It really is. Yeah.
So thank you guys for that. Jillian, hopefully that was helpful. Christine has a question for you guys. And I want to make a couple comments with regards to this question as well. So she says her daughter is highly intuitive, 13 years old, but suffering from depression and anxiety. Is there anything that she can do to help with her daughter's depression? And then in brackets, she is on medications and has a loving therapist, but as her mother, is there anything I can do to help her? And so before you guys answer that, there's a couple things I want to mention here. We are honored to have Kyla joining us on session 4. She works with children that are highly intuitive and gifted. So definitely come back for that conversation or focus on that as a replay. But having said that, a lot of times when we have a strong connection with energy, we don't know how to manage that. And we're not taught and we don't understand what's going on. And our society innocently points us in directions of depression or of anxiety or of mental illness. And because we don't really know any differently, we don't know any better, we innocently go towards that direction as an answer to what we're experiencing. What I would invite you to do is, as you yourself, Christine, are able to learn and connect more with your own understanding of your connection with Source, share that with your daughter and go into conversations with her about what you are learning, what you're exploring, bring her into the conversation and allow her to start to connect with her own experiences and to make sense of those experiences. And there's people that you can connect with, have it be Kristen and Tamara, people that you relate to and are connected with, that you feel a resonance with, that can help you guys to find your path. And so Kristen and Tamara, is there something that you guys would like to share with Christine about how she can help her daughter?
Yeah, it's actually straight from Sasha because it was already given in a previous situation as well. And the words are reminding her that it's okay not to be okay. And even Daniel spoke about how he knows people who trans-channel and then they're out for days sometimes afterwards. And that's why I choose not to have Sasha come through me, is because the depletion that I feel afterwards, I don't enjoy. Kristen's able to bounce back a little bit faster with me holding space. We're able to work at that. But if I got into my head and said, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or why can so-and-so bounce right back, then I too would fall in depression. I too would feel anxiety because I am not living up to the standards or what our society is telling us that we should be. It's okay if your daughter needs 12 hours of sleep versus another teen who can only get by with 4 or 5, right? So reminding her that it's okay not to be okay and just giving her permission and allowance, I think is what Sasha's really communicating strongly here. Of just that acceptance. Also, when she does get these messages from Spirit, right? She is different than her peers. And that makes you feel icky a lot of times, especially this age group. So reminding her constantly that it's okay not to be okay. I know that you got something here coming through.
Yes, and specifically, Sasha's showing me my daughter, who is 20 years old. She had, with her anxiety, being a music education student, you have to play in front of an audience, which made her anxiety grow even more. I had a lot of anxiety after I had a really bad heart episode and have had several surgeries from that. The anxiety was overwhelming. And Sasha's saying, remember to speak with like-minded souls. It's okay to not be okay, but making normal of what you are uncomfortable with and having those conversations takes the fear out of that, because we put fear and we don't want to mention these words. We don't want to look at it. We put it behind us and want to close the door and lock the key. Look at it for what it is. When you're in this beautiful space, of course, not in a moment when I'm not going to speak to my daughter, Emily, when she's feeling anxious. It's going to be in that time of just openness and she's calm and we have these discussions, and it has helped her move forward and not have as much anxiety. I know it has certainly helped me by speaking those things that we don't even want to look at.
I'm feeling a strong pull again in that solar plexus. So if you encourage a fish to climb a tree, it's never going to feel that it's good enough, right? So encouraging her to be in environments where she is going to thrive. It might not be mainstream stuff. It might be kind of weird and quirky or whatnot. But getting her with like-minded people is huge. So that solar plexus right now for her is being depleted, and it's her willpower. It's her powerhouse. So it's like actually a lot of pain that I'm feeling for her in my solar plexus.
Yeah. And stuff. So that's why talking with like-minded individuals will really assist, because it's like I'm not alone. Because when you're that age, I'm not alone in what I'm feeling. I also feel on the third eye too. So she sees things very differently, her intuition, but actually seeing things. I do feel a lot of like fairy energy and gnomes and things like that, a lot of elemental beings too. So speaking with like-minded souls and knowing that she is not alone and it's okay to be unique and amazing.
Yeah, and the therapist is great for sure. Awesome that she has somebody to talk to that she trusts. I'm also hearing energy work though, so maybe look into an energy healer or somebody, or even yourself practice on her, you know, just removing any energies around her that are not hers. You can say the prayer of protections for her as well, and just envision her in this beautiful golden light of protection to where she can be cocooned in her safety and really become herself.
Mother's intuition, you know, you have that
you know better than anybody, right?
Yeah, you'll feel it. Your intuition will just come forward and you'll just feel, this is what I need to do. So it might seem odd, but go with your gut, because you know what is best.
And thank you guys for that. One thing that I want to add as well is all energy is transient. And that's something that has helped me a tremendous amount in my own mental, emotional states. When I get caught up in things, I know that it'll pass. And give me a second. Let me mute whoever's unmuted. Sorry about that. So energy is transient. And so that's really helped me a lot at times. And again, this isn't the conversation that I would have with someone that's in the middle of anxiety or upset. It's a conversation that I would have with them when they're feeling well or when they're feeling good. And again, the more I understand how the mind works, the more I understand how the system of life works, the easier it is for me to respond accordingly and appropriately. So definitely look in that direction as well. So hopefully, Kristen, this has been helpful. If there's any other questions or comments from anybody else, feel free to raise your hand or put that in the chat. Kristen says, yes, that resonated and hit who she is on the mark. I appreciate your affirmation. Sounds like I'm doing what I can and on the correct road. Absolutely agree. Thank you all here and in other realms. Bless. Thank you, Kristen. Hopefully this is good for you. Caroline raised her hand. Caroline, are you feel free to unmute yourself, and are you okay if I bring you on video?
Hi, this is Caroline. Actually, I'm not wearing any makeup right now, so if you want to put me on video, it's your choice.
It's up to you. I'm perfectly happy to see your beauty with or without makeup, so up to you.
Well, I'd rather not then.
Not a problem. Not a problem. So go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so basically, I just want to say thank you so much. The prayer you did in the beginning totally resonated with me. I will be taking note of that. I've been looking for a prayer that really matched what I was thinking. So thank you so much for that. And for you girls, it was really beautiful hearing you. And everything you have to say is super interesting. I'm so excited. And so basically, I really loved it when you said that the purpose of channeling was to raise the collective vibration. That is one of my greatest goals right now, is to raise the collective vibration. So I thought that it was really good for you to say that, and maybe they would have more to say about that. But I have another question too. I have many questions. So what about the spontaneous singing? Does that raise the collective vibration as well? Does it raise does it help Mother Earth create and become and flourish, because I feel like when I sing in the woods, it helps like animals come to life in the forest. So that is another point. And one more thing that is more personal, I just want to know, what did I see at the corner of my eye? Because I saw like a bicycle, like it was a hologram or something, like someone riding a bicycle passed by me, but then there was no one there. So I just want to know if that was just my mind playing games, or did I really see something there? So that's a lot of questions. I can repeat them if you forgot.
I'm going to talk real quick about the light language. I'm going to let Kristen talk about the man on the bicycle, the bicyclist as well. That's definitely, yeah. And so the light language that comes through, the spontaneous singing, go with it, keep flowing with it. But you might not even start speaking or singing in a different language. You might say different words. You might not even understand what you're saying. And yes, it's raising the vibration, but it's also healing. Okay, so these animals that are responding to you, they have there's ailments that are being healed. You're healing the aspects of yourself. You're healing the collective. Those energies that are it's a channeling. You're allowing the music to flow through you, and it's in your way of being comfortable. So the more you just go with it and flow with it and not think, you're going to tap into what we label as light codes or light language, and those are activations within you and others and nature to develop your gifts, to become more connected and ultimately raise the vibration of the whole collective. Yes.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
And I can hear, it's really interesting because I can hear light language and it sounds very shamanic to me. Light language is so weird. The only way I can describe it is it's like a burp. It's something that has to come out whether you want it to or not. It's going to come out. That's light language. So I hear like, just all of these different light codes are coming through. So just let them out. The more you are unapologetically you, and the more we allow our lights to shine, I feel very emotional saying it. This is how we change the planet. This is how it starts. This is how we do it, by purifying ourselves, looking at our shadow side, allowing ourselves to be just us and channel if you want to channel, use your intuition, be your beautiful self. That, and then we interlock because we're so magnetically connected. We attract other lights. So this beautiful soul just fell into my life, and now I have this sister here. This is how we raise the consciousness. The person that is on the bike, these other realms, those that have passed, all of it overlaps ours. And to be able to see a glimpse of that, they will sit on my patio and just watch me garden, and I'll turn around and I'll get startled, and just like that, they're gone. They can look holographic. It can look like one of those old-fashioned flip movies where it looks like almost unstable and then it goes away. But a lot of times it's like, did I really see that? But you can say, thank you for showing yourself. I am so grateful to be able to see you. That's just the other side, those that have passed.
She knows who this is. This is someone familiar.
This is someone that you know, it's ancestral. But the main message is we're right here with you, and we're living with you, and they're doing things that bring them joy. So going on walks and bicycling and gardening, they do all these things on the other side as well. And you were able to see a glimpse of that, being able to share that with you. But keep that light language is very, very strong.
Yeah.
Very strong, and I feel it in the solar plexus, like it wants to really come out. So I hope that helps. I'm excited for you.
Sasha is also saying
you.
Thank you to you for validating the telepathic message that Kristen had shared, because that's why Kristen had chills, because she was answering, right? You had these thoughts, these questions, and the answer was given to you. So thank you, they're saying, for that validation amongst the group here. Thank you.
And also understand too, the truth chills, I call them. You just spontaneously, they could be blotchy chills, or your whole body turns into one big goosebump. That spirit saying yes, yes, yes. So when you say something and it's like, did I just see you on a bike, and you get those insta chills, that's them saying yes, yes, yes. So you know that as well.
Okay. And I had one last question. I'm sorry, I don't want to take the other people's time, but I just want to know, which is my stone? Which stone? Because you have a jasper, and I love that idea. And I have a stone that I tried to bring to the woods with me. Which stone should I bring?
It varies. It's different. It's saying yeah.
I'm seeing citrine.
Oh, that's what I had in mind.
Okay. There you go.
Yes.
Wow.
Showing me, and it's funny, just to share how this works with channeling. I got immediately the citrine, so that came from my heart space. And then Kristen was thinking, well, shouldn't she bring in like a green stone or a red stone for grounding and earth? And the guys are like, citrine. They kept showing it to me. So just to let you know how that works, how we integrate the mind.
Yep.
Oh, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I give you blessings and love. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. One thing that I want to add, and this is for yourself and everybody else, with regards to stones, trust your own ideas. And I'm going to call them ideas because I would walk by a bunch of stones and I would say, it feels like amethyst wants to play with me today, but I have no way of knowing why it is that I feel like amethyst is the one that wants to be with me today. There's no way for me to know that, and I question it and judge it. And as I've started to connect more and more with my own understanding of energy, I've started to trust in those messages. And you knew that citrine was a stone that you wanted to take, so trust in that. And Kristen validated that, and Sasha validated that. And it isn't for them to tell you what's the right stone. It's for them to say to you, you already knew what the right stone was. And like Tamara said, that's going to change from moment to moment and from one day to the next. And it might be citrine for the next weeks, but then one day you happen to walk by a black tourmaline and the black tourmaline is calling to you. Go with the black tourmaline, and there's no right or wrong again. It will shift. So thank you for your questions, and of course, thank you guys for answering that.
Yeah.
Sasha is interested in, well, Carolyn mentions that singing in the woods is one of her favorite things to do as well. One thing that I wanted to mention about that, if I may, just one more thing. Following what we enjoy, things that we do that bring us joy, elevate our energetic experience. And as we elevate our energetic experience, we change the energy of the planet, and we change the energy of the universe, and we change the energy beyond this dimension. What we do individually within ourselves extends multidimensional. And so to answer your question earlier, Carolyn, absolutely. As you go out into the woods to sing, not only are you healing yourself, you're healing anything and everything that exists. And so feel into that, enjoy that. And so that's one thing that I wanted to add as well. Sarah's asking, what's the best way for her to release a blocked chakra? For her specifically, it's her throat and heart. She feels that it might even be part of a past life, but is there anything that your team can help her with on that?
So just like what we were saying with Carolyn, allowing the words to flow, whatever that is for that throat, it's your expressiveness, it's your creativity. So doing things that you enjoy, going back to a time in your childhood where you were free and didn't have the limitations and the inhibitions that we have as we go through these traumas and these different experiences in life, trying to go back to that moment where you were this child and you were free and happy and expressing yourself in that is going to help with the understanding. And once you have that understanding, then you can work through it. So I recommend meditation for everything, but an inner child meditation, going back to the heart starts developing and really getting its foundation from 4 to 8 years old. And then the throat is more like 8 to 12-ish, 8 to 10-ish, going back to that time frame in your life and asking that little girl inside of you to show you what it is that she needs. And it might take several sessions to gain the trust, but something in that development, in those formations, And it's all the chakras. So we might see it in the throat, or you might feel it in the heart, but you get down to that root and there was something there as well. So really tapping into that little baby girl, that little child inside of you, and communicating with her and building that trust up and being to her what she didn't have when she needed it.
Yeah, and I see Archangel Raphael, very much a healer. So healing past life, because the back is past this life and past lives, and the front chakras are this life and future. And I see both. So like Tamara's saying, expressing yourself, Mother Mary Magdalene and Kuan Yin are forward for you as well as part of your spiritual team. They're asking you to do something where you're allowed to express yourself, whether it's turning on the music that raises your vibration and just singing and allowing yourself to let go. And they're also reminding you that it's the little baby steps where just saying no. It might sound simple. Hey, do you want to go out tonight? And you're like, I really want to go with this person. I don't want to disappoint them. You know what? I would love to, but I'm not able to. No, I'm not able to at this time. So it might sound little, but it's honoring yourself that you need that alone time or things like that as well. So never underestimate yourself. Those little things that sometimes we can get fearful of saying, like, I don't want to tell this person no, or, you know, not be able to go to this, or speak your mind when someone says something and you're like, no, that's not okay for you to talk to me that way. Things like that allow you to open up more and being expressive. My heart chakra, having the heart situation that I do, that was one of the main things. Man, my heart chakra took like a big turnaround during this whole process, because I didn't feel comfortable expressing myself or even crying when I felt sick. So now if I don't feel well, I openly cry. I openly cry at like anything I'm doing. If I'm working with a client or doing sessions, things like that, I allow myself to express those things now, which happened in baby steps to where I am now, that you can't shut me up. Hope that helps.
Excellent. Thank you guys for that. Hopefully that was helpful, Sarah. Jillian is asking and wondering about her collective, Rasha, if there is a message that they want her to know.
Talking about your healing abilities. Your healing abilities, feeling energy in the hands and the feet, kind of swirls. You just by speaking to someone, you just know some things to say. People are drawn to you and they tend to tell you something. You might go to get like a bagel and they tell you your life story when you go to get this bagel, and you're like, you just know what to say. You're soothing for people. That's your natural healing abilities. They're asking you to own that as well. There's another message. Bringing people together.
Yep.
People together. There's this, I feel a lot in the heart chakra, connection, putting ourselves out there and having these connections and speaking to people, having this beautiful support amongst people. We're really putting ourselves out there, right? And when we might feel like a recluse, you know, we're really, it's a lot for us sometimes to put ourselves out there, but we can be extroverted and introverted at the same time. But when we're around like-minded individuals and connections, they're talking about you being, we're all bridges in this work in some way, and you bridge people together. There's something about you, you get these connections. They're talking about these connections.
It's connections of support, either receiving or giving the support, because I'm feeling it all on my lumbar right now, and the lumbar is support system. So there's, yeah, I'm not sure if it's you giving support, needing support, or you are the source of the support, but there's something with support happening.
it's going both ways.
Yeah.
It's like you're the support for someone, but yet others, you need to know that you have others to be able to lean on too. It's a back and forth type of thing. That's so awesome. You said lumbar, because I felt it in my lower back and I was going, what is going on here? And I'm channeling and not acknowledging that. So
Yeah.
just to let you know, it's important for your empaths out there, those feelers, that when you feel something and you're channeling, it's probably because you're channeling something for somebody else. So pay attention.
Excellent. So the next question, and I'm aware that we're kind of going into the 90-minute mark, and because we started with the opening ceremony, I'm comfortable with going a little bit further if you guys are okay with that. Yeah, awesome. So Caroline, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, is asking, I would love to know the best way to let go of eating too much sugar. I've been filling myself with love and safety, and it's making a small difference. I feel like it's also to do with self-sabotage, not allowing myself to be successful. And if there's anything that you guys can help her with that.
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. You already know your awareness is there, and that is what it is. When you have these cravings for sugar or something, it's that feeling of love and support, and you're filling yourself up with it. So what I would suggest is not beating yourself up with the sugar and whatnot. When you decide to have it, sit with it, allow yourself to absorb it on an energetic level first. So you have this bowl of ice cream, or you have this brownie, or you have this whatever. You already know it's not serving you. You already know it's not for your highest and greatest good. You know what the emptiness is that you're filling. Now sit with it and say that you're accepting in this treat and ask your body to process it properly for you. Sit with it before you ingest it and allow your energetic being to absorb it first. This will naturally just start to process the sugars differently just by setting that intention. And with your awareness that it is to fill a void, give yourself time and grace.
Yes, we're all energy alchemists. We're all these magicians. It's just setting your intention with how you wish to work with the energies. I'm very big on affirmations as well. So I tend to say, I love that my body knows what to do with food that does not serve me. And if I am like, if I have a burger or something like that, I used to feel guilty and bad about it. And I would feel sick after consuming it because I had that intention before eating it. And then as soon as I started to shift my mindset and give love and gratitude, it was different. And then I allow myself to enjoy the pleasures of this realm as well, which are, you know, the chocolate and ice cream, things like that. But I do, like Tamara says, sit with it prior to, and sometimes I don't feel like having it anymore.
Right.
And it's something else that I'm actually craving. It's just your mind, your ego goes immediately to that. But when you sit with that for a moment, you're like, you know what, I really am wanting fruit. That's the sweetness that I'm craving. Yeah, that's the water, that's the sugar, that's what I'm looking for.
Your body's only going to crave what it knows. So allowing yourself that indulgence for sure without them beating up, because you don't need more self-harm, more self-sabotage. But then maybe introducing something else, like Kristen's saying, you know, a fruit that would take that place, or something else, so your body can crave that next time, because it's only going to crave what it knows.
Yeah, see, I have Chunky Monkey sitting in my refrigerator right now. Don't be taking my Chunky Monkey because I'll have a problem. But instead of consuming more, I just have those few spoonfuls ish, and it's more satisfying. And then I look forward to it. It's like a certain time of the day that I typically will have it. Like today it will be after lunch, or tomorrow will be after dinner, where I'll have my treat, and that's like my little bit right there.
Beautiful. Hopefully that was helpful. One of the things that I kind of picked up along the way that I really liked was channel Sarah Landon, which I mention all the time because I love her. Her collective, she refers to as the council, and they will talk about how it doesn't matter as much what we eat. It's the place of vibration that we are coming from when we eat it that makes the difference.
Yes.
And so I think that supports what Tamara and Kristen are talking about with regards to the intention that you set before you eat will have a big influence on the impact that food will have on you and your experience of that food. And again, there's no judgment here. This is not a right or wrong. This is not a, oh my God, I can't believe I've been doing this all this time. Or it's just an invitation to approach life differently. It's to have a different experience. And my experience has also been that as people start to understand and recognize their own self-worth, their own light, their own beauty, their own divinity, that is the core of who they are, the patterns that they have relied on to help them through the journey shift. And so that's something that, again, as you continue on your path, it wouldn't be a surprise if you found yourself eating less sugar without having to work at it, quote unquote. It's
Exactly.
just, it'll be a natural response as you find your own light, your habits will shift accordingly. And so I just wanted to add that little bit. One thing, we are kind of coming towards the end, but I do want to honor the questions that have come through. Christine, I'm going to ask these beautiful ladies to answer your question, but I'm also going to add my own little bit too. The question is, how do you know who your collective is? I speak in a general term to my guides, ancestors, and angels, but I'm curious as to how some of you have names of collectives. Just curious. I'm new to this journey. Thank you. The reason I want to add this in is because I do not know the names of my my collective. Through spiritual regression, I've been given names that I can refer to, whether they're real or not. I use them as a reference for my guides. And some people will have conversations in whatever way, shape, or form that plays out with their team, and they happen to have names that they can use. One of the things that I would say for you is to go into a quiet space and just allow whatever name to come forward and play with that. And that could be a temporary kind of fix while you deepen your own connection and that name becomes more adjusted. Like I've got a dragon that is part of my team, and he's telling me that he wants me to call him Perch. And I say that he's telling me that because I say, what's your name? And the word that pops in my head is Perch. And I'm not happy with that name because Perch is not the name of a dragon. Perch is what a dragon sits on. And so this is kind of the game that I'm playing with this dragon. Is he wants me to call him Perch, but I know that that's not his name. And it will come in time. But the word that comes to my mind is Perch. And I know that, you know, I've got a guide that through a friend of mine who channels, I did a session with her and she was part of season 1. One of my guides said to call him Ralph because I would remember that because throwing up. And he was being playful. And to this day, I have not forgotten that his name is Ralph, though again, I wouldn't come up with that. So you can work within your own environment of going in within yourself to see what names come forward for you, or you can work with people like Kristen and Tamara that can connect with your team and they can come up with a name that's relevant for you to utilize. But keep in mind, names are not important. Names are not important. We use them because we give them importance and value, and I can relate to my guide Arielis by name, but whether or not Arielis is his real name really doesn't matter to me. It's just a reference that I can use. And so whatever names come to your mind, you can use those. And so I'm sorry, it was a much longer answer than I wanted to add, but ladies, anything that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, you're spot on. And I was actually going to say the same thing, to sit in your meditation, connect with them and see what the first name, don't doubt it, because we do it like Daniel does and we argue. We're like, well, why would I call you that? No, don't doubt it. So quick little, and Kristen is one of her like main gifts is connecting people to their guides. She gets names, she gets like those hits. So when I first started working with Kristen, I had already met one of my main guides. He's shamanic, very large.
Feel it now.
Yeah, I could see his face. He's got a stern face, but I wasn't intimidated by him at all. I would kind of joke around with him. It was very much like a father-daughter relationship is what it felt like. Well, I would call him Chief, and I knew he hated me calling him Chief. And I was like, well, too bad. I don't know what else to call you. And I wasn't, at the time of my growth, able to sit long enough to actually get what he wanted me to call him. But again, I could feel him. I knew what he looked like. I knew everything about him but the name, because I was like, well, you're Chief, and I'm not going any further than that. My very first session with Kristen, I asked her this question. I said, I have a guide and I want to know what I should address him as. I'm going to write down on a piece of paper, and this was horrible of me to do to her. I said, I'm going to write down on a piece of paper what I actually call him, and I want you to tell me what I call him and what he wants me to call him. That is not cool to do to people. You don't test them like that. That is not nice. She comes up and she's like, he hates Chief. He doesn't like Chief. And I opened my paper up, and of course it said Chief. And she's trying to get the message, and she wasn't getting it at first either. And she's like, I don't know. I'm two in my head now, because I'm playing a game, which we shouldn't be doing. It was not kind. And so we started talking about something else. We changed the subject, and all of a sudden it came right in. She said, it's Running Bull. And I knew instantly, as soon as she said that, that was accurate. He goes by Running Bull, and he very much likes to mess with Kristen because he is so stern and intimidating to her. So see what name comes to you. And names do not matter unless you have a guy like me who is like, no, you will not call me Chief. Kristen's brilliant in that she actually gets names, and it is a great contact for developing your relationship with your guides.
And like Tamara said, put it out there and then do something else. It might take a day. It might take a week. Now I have a guide, is a mantis being. It's exactly how it sounds. It's a huge 7-8 foot bug. And I said, I need a name for you. I'm not just going to call you Mantis. And it took like several months, and I heard Ka'an. I'm like, get out of here. That's your name, Ka'an. So some of them are very specific what their names are. Some will give you a symbol. So some of mine have a symbol of a peacock or something like that, and you can call them that as well. My mom has a guide who we have both seen. My mom is 80 years old, and she's learned to channel. So it does not matter your age or anything at all whatsoever. And she saw her guide, and she's like, I want to know what to call you. And he likes to be called George. So there's, you know, like I love that your dragon's name is Perch.
I do too.
Because it's normally something, because you're not making it up. You're not, because there's a shamanic guide, this beautiful woman that I saw in my mind's eye, and I said, what do I call you? And I was searching for a name, and I'm like, nope, I'm searching. I need to let it go. I need to let it go, because you're thinking of like really beautiful names to match them, and not, nope, you're thinking. And I happened to be in the shower. That's like when you do your best work, is when that waters, if you're in the pool or something, that energy comes through, and all of a sudden I got dove wing, and I'm like, okay, dove wing it is. So because some of them might sound a little odd or doesn't roll off the tongue as much, but trust it, that those are the instantaneous. When Sasha came forward, yeah, it was just an instantaneous. I was watering my plants outside. I love to garden, so I was out there, and all of a sudden I got Sasha. And my husband said, well, that makes sense, because Sasha is masculine and feminine of a name, which I didn't think of. So allow it to come to you and flow through. You'll get it. When you allow it to just, when you do something else, put it in the back of your mind and say, put it out there to know names, or to know who my guides are, and look at the breadcrumbs. Yeah. So maybe like today,
a TV show might pop on with a name. Yeah. It's like, oh, that felt something. That was, and then see, yeah.
The name Michael might come up a lot, or Raphael, or you might see a mantis or something like that. So allow that all to flow to you. It's fun to have it come together.
And I want to add, we're going to finish really quickly. And before we go into how people can connect with you and the special invitation that you guys are offering, I would just want to share what Kyla shared, because this is really helpful for people to know as well. She says her guides literally said they aren't revealing who they are because they know my knowing would distract me. My mental mind and expectations would be limiting, so they choose not to share that information with her at this time. For her, having information about them would instantly box them in according to my own expectations of what I've heard others say regarding various collectives. It's maddening at times, LOL, but it's so true. And the reason that I want to share this is because, again, the name isn't really important. And we as humans have this association with names. And when I'm connecting with guides through spiritual regression or through friends that are channeling and I'm facilitating the conversation, I will ask spirit, what name can we use to refer to you? And sometimes they'll say, names aren't important. Names don't matter. So call me whatever you want. And so it's just an invitation for us to, treat names with a little more lightness. It's not as important. Feeling what I've been told is a guide will present themselves to us in different shapes and forms, but we will always recognize the feeling of their vibration, regardless of what name they present or what image they present or what costume they're wearing at that point in time. We will always be able to recognize them from the way they feel to us. So I just wanted to add that little bit. Guys, thank you both for everything that you have shared. I would love for people to be able to connect with you guys and to contact you. How can they do that? And can you also talk to us briefly about the special invitation that you are offering?
Go ahead. Okay. To connect with me, I am at infiniteheartandsoul.com. You can email me through there. So I'm doing a special where it's usually $150 for a 1-hour session, and it's whatever it is that you need at that time is what will come through. If it's Reiki, anything like that at all, talking about your guides, life situations, whatever is in your highest good comes through. Doing a special for $111 as well. And also, if you have a question, I do free consultations as well. So like a free 10-15 minute consultation. If you're not sure what you're looking for, do I want to pursue being attuned to Reiki, or do I want to take one of your classes, or do I just want a session? We can just do a free chat and talk about it and see what's in your highest good and what works for you.
So to reach out to me, you can either email me at healingwithtam, T-A-M, @gmail. I'm also on Facebook, Tamara Cacio, and my website is bridgebetweenworlds.com, and there's a dash between worlds.com. And I think those are listed on the site as well. So my offering is 50% off a one-on-one session. And again, like Kristen said, that will be whatever presents itself. Mediumship sometimes comes through. I don't ever say for sure, because that's not how spirit works, right? Whatever is needed at that time that we're meeting is what will come through for you. And also 33% off of the group check class that's coming up the end of August. It's all about chakras. It's called A Yogi's Journey Through the Chakras. And what we do is we go through the 7 main chakra system, or the 7 main chakras of the system, and discuss when they develop, what traumas and experiences shape and form the chakras that we go through, and how to recognize the imbalances in our life, how they present themselves in our everyday life now as adults, and what we can do to address them and heal them and release those blockages. Each class has healing as well as exercises. Yoga sometimes comes through, mudras, mantras, and everybody gets a Reiki infused pendulum to learn how to attune your own chakras, so you can take it with you throughout your journey, through the rest of your life, to tap in with your chakra system. So I would love to introduce and meet all of you. So just like Kristen said, free consultations, come in my inbox, friend request me. I'll talk about spirit all day with everybody.
Beautiful,
All day,
beautiful.
every day.
All day, any day.
Yeah.
So guys, having said that, these invitations are really for season 2. And I'm saying this because, again, these recordings are eventually going to be in the public web. And who knows when people are going to be watching this and listening to this. So be respectful of the fact that these invitations are for season 2 of the Channeling Spirit. Our season will pretty much end September 1st, 2022. But whenever you're listening to this, reach out to these amazing women if you resonated with the way that they work. We need to jump off because we're going to be starting the next session thank you guys for allowing me to interject within your conversation, and for the honor of being part of this project. All of you that are listening, thank you for being with us. And I really have to run, so I will leave you with that. May our journey be blessed, and I will leave you with being spirit, being human, simply being from love. And I will talk to you guys very soon, in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. And thank you for everybody for joining.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you for being part of this incredible experience. We hope that this session has inspired a new level of understanding within you, allowing you to expand more easily into the essence of your true self and become an even more powerful alchemist in your own life. We invite you to listen to the session again and again in order to go deeper each time and expand even more. Have it be via the replays or the unlimited access package. If you have enjoyed being part of this event, we invite you to tell your friends so that they can join us in the future. We are grateful that you are here, and we thank you for co-creating this experience with us. Until next time, we leave you with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love.